Hey guys, it's me, Mr. 250, and welcome back to Virtue's Last Reward. Let's see, I was trying to pull that up. This is where we're currently at right now, after the laboratory escape, getting ready for the next AB game, which we won't quite get to until I get back, so we're not going to make a decision on that, if I can help it. But I think Dio wanted us to look at something.
一つだけ、いや、二つだけ確認しておきたいことがあるんだ。まあ、一つ目の方は大したことじゃないかもしれないが。
何？
まずは
That weird machine that we never
この
used.
機械のことだ。
And we have no idea what it does.
結局こいつ最後まで使わなかっただろ？
No, we didn't.
だから何なんだろうと思ってな。
It said replicator on the side. Well, I'm not sure how to answer that. Look at the side here. There's a name or something. IG replicator?
レプリケーターは文字通りレプリカを作る機械のことだね。
Yeah, possibly it makes copies of IG. So it's like a copy machine.
うん。多分頭についてる IB ってやつのね。
Any ideas?
さあ、なんだろう。イカのバター焼きのことかな。
Oh boy, I hope so. Of course! This machine must be here just so we can make all the ice cream we want. Are you nuts? She probably wants ice cream with nuts. You're one idiotic girl, you know that? Or I think maybe she just likes to have fun in life, Sigma. In other words, an IG.
おお、うまいこと言うね。
おいおい、くだらんことを言ってる場合じゃないだろう。痛いけな子供が一人病に倒れて苦しんでるっていうのに。
Wow, Dio, you actually almost sound heroic right now. He was right, of course. I hung my head in shame.
とにかく IB とやらが何なのかわからない限り、この機械は使いようがないってことだな。
I mean, not necessarily. We could do something, just not know what we're doing.
そうなるね。
わかった。それじゃ二つ目の質問に移ろう。シグマ。お前さっき日記帳らしきものと抗ウイルス薬の瓶を
The vial, I know what that's for. The journal is probably for all sorts of spooky, mysterious stuff towards the end of the game that's going to be really important, but for now is going to be really cryptic and stuff. Yeah.
そのうちの後者、抗ウイルス薬の方をもう一度よく見せてもらえないか。単純
Why?
に俺はまだ確認してないからだよ。お前ら二人が顔を突き合わせて覗き込んでたからよく見えなかったんだ。本当にあれはアクセラビルだったのか？
That's what the label said. Yeah, definitely. As I spoke, I pulled the vial out of my pocket. See, it's written right there on the label. Axe Levere.
バカだなお前は。お前の言葉を借りるなら一級品のバカ、略して IB だ。
What? I don't... The words were barely out of my mouth when he moved. Did he steal the Axe Levere from us? Before I could blink, the vial disappeared from my hand. Hey, what gives?
どういうこと？
Dio slipped the vial quickly into his coat.
大丈夫だ、安心しろ。
I have a bad feeling about this one.
後で返してやる。
He's gonna use that as a bargaining chip, isn't he? No, not later. Give it back now.
だから、俺の頼みを聞いてくれたら返してやる。
You are such an idiot, Sigma. I really wouldn't have pulled it quite out for him to get.
頼み？
そう。今俺のポケットに入ってるこの薬、返してほしければ、次の AB ゲームで協力を選ぶ。
Ally? Wait, is that why you took the medicine? To blackmail me?
最低！それってクオークの命と引き換えにって意味じゃない。
まあ、俺にも深い事情ってもんがあってね。
Yeah, don't do that with your mouth, Dio. That's weird.
俺の言うこと聞いてくれたら、ちゃんと返してやるさ。
I didn't realize until they started to hurt that I'd curled my hands into fists. If Dio would only give me an opening.
おっと、 無理やり取り返そうとしたってダメだぜ。少しでも不穏な動きを見せたらこの薬叩き。
He patted his pocket gently.
あとそれからもう一つ。この部屋で抗ウイルス薬を見つけたこと他の奴らに言うなよ。少しでも話せば次の瞬間には薬は床の上にぶちまかれることになるな。
Thanks, Dio. You almost seemed like you were being a good guy there for a second. Almost. Like there was just like an inkling of a tiny bit of feeling that maybe you weren't such a bad guy. And then, you know, you brought back the feelings all very swiftly right there.
卑怯だよそんなの。
このゲームに IQ や愛嬌は必要ない。重要なのはたった一つ。いかに卑怯になれるかだ。さあどうする？協力を選ぶと約束してくれるか？
We still have 1 BP, don't we? No, wait. No, we do. We still have 1 BP, so we're in danger at this point of dying if he chooses to betray us. And Dio's one of the few people that I think might, just maybe might, actually kill somebody in this game in order to get by. We already know he has, but to do it again, I think he might. Fine. I promise.
シグマ。
きっとお前ならそう言ってくれると思ったよ。話のわかるやつでよかったぜ。だがもしも約束を破るようなことがあったらその時は分かってるな。じゃあな、次のラウンド楽しみに。
With one last self-satisfied chuckle, Dio strutted out of the room. That Dio guy. I'm gonna blame Sigma for just like waving it around. He's like, hey, this is what you wanted to see, right? And then it gets stolen from him. Yeah.
シグマの今の BP は1。こっちが協力を選んで向こうが裏切りを出したら。
I know. I'll drop to -1, and that means I'll get penalized.
だったら。
Look, it's not like I want to, alright? If we don't do as he says, then he'll destroy the medicine. If he does that, then Quark will...
自分の命を犠牲にしてまで助けるっていうの？クオークを。なんでそこまでして。
Because I'm not a terrible person, like Dio. In all honesty, I was terrified. My choice was far from a foregone conclusion. Well, we should get back to the upper floor. Everybody else is probably finished already. I bet they're waiting for us. I didn't wait for Clover's response. I like those cool, like, liquid tanks that we all just happened to ignore the entire time. The only time that we paid any attention to was the fact that we said that there wasn't any fish in it. Oh yeah, and something else to note, the AB doors haven't been opened yet. Which, you know, is because we actually have Dio with us this time. Oh, and there goes our friend. Good job, Dio.
アンビデックス。
悪いな。一足先に開かせてもらったよ。
Dio. In one of his hands was a moon key. He twirled it around like a veteran gambler, grinned, and slid it back into his pocket.
別に構わないだろ。お前と四つ葉がすぐに来ることは分かってたし、それに気が変わらんうちにさっさと済ませちまった方がいいと思ってな。次の AB ゲームを。
I glanced around the warehouse. Oh, look, at least some of her friends are here. Alice and Kay were back. As was Faye. And, of course, Clover. Okay, so I guess people are here. He didn't actually be super jerk this time, just us. Where's Tenmyoji and the rest of them?
医務室にいるわ。
クオーク君をベッドの上に運んだのです。天明寺さんとルナさんはその付き添いに。
I see.
容体の方はどうなの？
容体と言われてもな。ひとまずぐっすりと眠ってはいるが、体の中で何が起こっているのかはわからん。
No change then, huh?
そうなるな。
ところでシグマたちが入ったのはどんな部屋だったの？
Oh, I'm tired again. I'm yawning again. A laboratory.
バイオラ。
それって細菌とかウイルスとか DNA とかを研究する？
Oh, definitely.
うん、そんな感じだったね。
そこに抗ウイルス薬アクセラビルはなかったのか？
No. Definitely not.
この部屋で抗ウイルス少しでも話せ。
My eyes flicked to Dio for a moment. No, nothing. Beside me, Clover bit her lip.
そうか。
So, how'd it go with you? Find anything interesting? Fi only shook her head. With a unison of movement that almost looked choreographed, Alice and Kay shrugged.
それでこれからどうする？投票の締め切りまであと40分近くあるけど。
アリスはどうするつもり？
私はあなたたちが入ったっていうバイオラボが気になるからそこを覗いてみようかと。
We might as well, I suppose.
それじゃあ私が案内する。
そうしてもらえると助かるわ。
俺はアリス、K、天明寺の3人が入った部屋を調べてみるかな。もしかしたらお前らが見落としてるところがあるかもしれないし、そこにアクセラビルがある可能性だって。
Oh, Dio. What a jerk.
ではそちらの方は私が案内しましょう。
シグマとファイはどうするの？
Well, I think I'll start by heading over to the infirmary to see how Quark's doing.
ならば私も付き合おう。
さあ、それじゃ行きましょう。
She nodded to Clover, and they disappeared through the magenta door. Dio and Kay followed a few footsteps behind. Okay then. Guess we should be going too.
いや、待て。
Oh boy.
その前に日記帳を見せてくれ。
Can you read it?
ディオから聞いたんだよ。
Oh yeah. I was actually a little curious if she knew
部
about
屋
it.
に関する詳細は教えてもらえなかったが、ただわけのわからない言語で書かれた日記帳を見つけたってな。それをシグマが持ってるって言うから見せてもらえないかと。
Are you familiar in not understandable languages? 1 second. I dug the journal out of my pocket and handed it to Fi. She began to flip through the pages, her eyes quickly scanning each one.
これは
Oh,
ラテン語だ。
well that's good. It's actually a understandable language. Even if you don't, do you understand it? You mean you can read it?
時間と辞書があれば。
So, no, you can't read it. So, in other words, no.
仕方ないだろう。
Well, at the very least you know what it is, and that's better than we did, so I'll give you that.
こいつはおそらく研究者の書いた研究日誌みたいなものだ。今日はボブとお散歩に行きました。とっても楽しかったですとか、そんな感じの日常的な記録が記されてるわけじゃないんだよ。ほとんどが専門用語だらけで、何が書いてあるのかさっぱり。
Fi started to leaf through the book again as she spoke. Then, suddenly she stopped.
待て、このページ216ページに書いてあることならなんとなくわかるぞ。 ここだけは研究記録じゃなくて執筆者の独白のような内容が書かれているんだ。
What's it say?
そうせかすなって。今頭の中で訳してるんだから。なるほど。わかったぞ。どうやらここにはラジカル6に関
Well,
する事
isn't
柄が
that
記載されてるみたい
convenient?
だ。
What? Why are they talking about that?
ああ、上から読み上げていくぞ。
When the body is infected with Radical 6, the processing speed of the brain is reduced. If we assume the brain currently operates on a one-to-one basis with regards to time, Radical 6 reduces this to a 1 to the square root of 1/6, or approximately 1 to the 0.4808. So, this is slow down time? Would that explain why Sigma saw, when we were in the security room, why Sigma saw things in kind of slow motion? This means that for each second that passes outside, the patient feels that only... No, wait. So that makes everything go... Wait. So that means that for the person that time slows down. Therefore, when 1 second has passed inside, approximately 2.45 seconds, or the square root of 6 seconds, have passed outside. In other words, when 10 seconds passes in the real world, a patient infected with Radical 6 would feel as if only 4 seconds had passed. This is why the virus has been termed Radical 6. Nice name. Radical is also another term for another term for what is also known as the root operator, the function inverse to the taking of a power, or you know what you say whenever you go on a wicked half pipe, radical dude, something. In a less mathematical sense, it can also be used to refer to something that is extreme or severe. Those infected by Radical 6 eventually develop a powerful urge to commit suicide. The exact cause of this is unclear, and although there is as yet no direct link between suicidal urges and their reduction in mental processing speed, many believe that they are not unrelated. Those infected with Radical 6 perceive the world to be moving at a fever pitch, as if it were a video cassette being fast-forwarded. For instance, although the patient believes that only 10 seconds have passed, in fact, 24.5 seconds have passed. And, oh yeah, because I do remember, I remember Sigma saying, whoa, that's weird, it's almost like the world is being fast-forwarded, like a videotape. So, and that was in the original timeline, wasn't it? Or, I'm saying original is in the first timeline I played. So, was Sigma infected with Radical 6 then, but he just didn't know? Given this increased speed of input, maintaining the ability to observe and reason would become a Herculean task, yeah. One theory holds that the disparity in time perception causes the brain to be flooded with a massive amount of information. Unable to keep up, it begins to fail. Whatever the cause, the infected invariably attempt to take their own lives, which is arguably the most terrifying aspect of this virus. Research suggests that a targeted antiviral could kill, or at least disable Radical 6, but we have been unable to develop one. It seems that our best hope now is to harvest antibodies from someone with a natural immunity to the virus. Thus far, however, we've been unable to locate a suitable subject, so I've continued my efforts to discover an alternative means of treatment. Given my current rate of progress, I predict that I will have a workable treatment within a decade or two. It is my fervent hope that humanity will be able to survive that long. The bodies of those dead from suicide are piled up along the roads leading into and out of town. Ooh, that's a graphic image. That's a lot of bodies. The entire area reeks with the stench of decay, and the sky is filled with the constant buzzing of flies. At times, their swarms are so thick that when one passes, it feels as if a cloud has gone over the sun. Every day I see more crows, and rats are everywhere, feeding on the dead. Ironically, the only healthy-looking creatures are the stray cats, who've grown fat on the plentiful rodent diet. The few humans who survived the outbreak have been locked away by the government in underground shelters. I don't know how many were saved, but I fear only a handful. Their survival is the only hope that remains for the human race. Oh Lord, please. Let their future be a bright one. Well, that was certainly quite grim, wasn't it? So we definitely connected that Radical 6 patients want to commit suicide with like a bit of, quote, scientific evidence. We also have a possible link between that weird time thing that Sigma had where he felt like Phi was moving in fast motion. Though I don't ever remember him having the urge to kill himself, so possibly he had some sort of immunity to it at the time? I'm not sure. They said they were looking for people that were immune to it, like have a natural immunity. So maybe he's partially immune, I don't know. At least in that sense, he didn't seem very immune in the other time when he decided to kill himself, more recently. Whoa, that's a lot of information. Now we know what the virus does to you, though. If you get infected, your brain slows down by the root of 1/6. That's what? About 40%?
重要なのはそっちの方じゃないだろう。ラジカル6は感染者の自殺衝動を喚起する。
True. Yeah, you're right. It does say eventually, so maybe eventually on that route, even though he didn't get the killing urges yet, or the suicide urges yet, maybe he got to the point where his brain did that 40% thing. That would explain why Quark was, well, trying to kill himself. Yep, we remember that.
他にも気になる点は2つある。まずは、未だ抗ウイルス薬の開発には成功していないと記されている件についてだ。どう思う？
What am I supposed to make of it? Maybe they just hadn't found one when this journal was written. I mean, from what we know, there's a drug called Axlavir that cures it.
だよな。だが日記には、抗ウイルス薬の開発には、あと10年から20年はかかるだろうとも書いてあるぞ。
Well, I mean, they could have just stumbled upon something and found it quite quickly. You don't know. Hold on a second. I'm getting confused. When was this thing even written?
12月29日。年数は記されていない。
You would imagine, though, that due to the amount of that it's written, that it would have happened fairly... Well, what am I trying to say? You would guess that unless it happened maybe on that Mars thing that Tenmyoji was talking about, and maybe that happened at a different time, that on Earth it would have happened like around the time that it was written, but this year. Which means that they found a cure right quick, didn't they? Assuming... yeah. Well, there was no way it was written this year.
まあ、そうだろうな。
How do you know?
次、2つ目は地下シェルターの件について。
Okay, whatever. We'll worry about it later. Underground shelter. That might be kind of something like what we're in.
例の新聞記事は感染者の隔離について言及していた。そこで我々はもしかしたらここがそんな疑念を抱いたわけだが、この日記の記述はそれとは真逆の可能性について示唆している。
That it might be a place to keep, like a safety bunker, not a quarantine. Yeah. Underground shelter.
地下シェルターへと収容された。
You're trying to say that this place might be one of those underground shelters, which would mean we're all supposed to be uninfected. We would have been thrown in here to keep us safe, and then for some reason it got turned into a game.
断言はできないが、可能性はないこともない。
But Quark's been infected, right?
ウイルスがどこからか潜り込んできたのかもしれん。
We don't know. Maybe it can get through pipes in the wall. That would be bad.
よく考えてみてくれ。もしそうだとしたら、いろいろとつじつまが合うだろ
True, it does seem to have, I mean, like I've said before, it does seem to have the resources intended to allow humans to survive for relatively long periods of time. And not just survive, but actually get some work done. Things along the lines of scientific research and possibly just, you know, learning in general.
我々はこのシェルターへと放り込まれた。
Another possibility, of course, though I think we can actually confirm that we are on the date that that lunar eclipse happened. Or was it lunar? Yeah, lunar eclipse happened. So, and they don't know at this time because they haven't been outside yet. That would make sense. Okay.
そう。何年も何十年も眠らされていたのかもしれない。その間にパンデミック、世界的なウイルスの感染拡大が発生し、
And then once the antiviral treatment was finished, they woke us up?
そうだ。あくまでも可能性の話だがな。
No. That doesn't make sense. I mean, it sounds like a pretty plausible scenario, but we were all captured before the pandemic started, right? And how would they have known, or how would they have put us to sleep for that long? How would they have known to do that? But most importantly, why the heck are we playing the nonary game if the point of this place is to save us? Throwing a bunch of people into a game that might kill them is a pretty weird way to protect them from a pandemic. True.
確かに。それもそうだな。
Maybe it's trying to see what the effects of a Radical 6 individual are when trying to solve puzzles. I don't know.
とにか
Like,
く
maybe we're trying to
心霊
see
と日
if
記だけでは情報が足りないな。
the ability, or if like the fast forwarded movement feeling would affect your problem solving abilities. I don't know.
他にも何か手がかりがないか探してみよう。
Fi had barely finished speaking before she took off for the magenta door. Hey, weren't you coming to the infirmary with me?
気が変わったんだ。
Oh,
クオー
thanks.
クの様子については後で報告してくれ。
And with that, she's gone. You're not gonna at least tell me what you're in such a hurry to run off to? She was gone. Man, I let out a long, tired sigh and started off towards the infirmary. Alright, back in the infirmary. And let me see where we're at. If we moved any farther now, we're still in the same point after escape. And we have the AB game coming up soon. Obviously I'm going to be gone for about 2 weeks. About this time is when I should be about getting ready to start making videos again. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. I appreciate the comments. I'm assuming I've probably gotten some by now. And I'll see you guys next time for more Virtue's Last Reward, where maybe we find out more secrets and probably stab Dio in the back and then lose our Axelevere. Or maybe ally. I don't know. Thanks for watching. Bye!